Alright guys, so we've gotten our first trailer for the first TV show in the MCU, or I guess coming from Marvel Studios, but in the MCU, I'll suppose I'll say the MCU, in 2025, and no, it is not Daredevil Born Again, although where is that trailer, guys? That show is coming out in 3 months. I'm sure we'll be getting a trailer very, very soon for Daredevil Born Again, an official trailer, I should say. But we have gotten our first trailer for the actual first show of the MCU in 2025. That is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So I watched the trailer, and I will say this. I saw it for the first time, and I went, this looks absolutely terrible. I don't understand what the point of this is. And to be fair, even before this trailer came out, I was thinking, what is the point of this? But, I was willing to give anything a shot, right? That's generally my philosophy here is that, premise, concept, even the trailer could be cringy, could be terrible, could be, the worst thing I've ever seen. Hence, case in point, the Minecraft movie. If the Minecraft movie ends up being the best movie ever made, I will be so happy for that, because that means that a trailer that looked terrible, produced something that is awesome. And so, I'm willing to say, if the trailer looks terrible, totally fine. The product could be good. That being said, we're here to talk about the trailer. And the first time I saw the trailer, I was like, what in the world is this? I'll admit though, I just recently, so I watched the trailer when it came out, and then just here to record this segment of the podcast, I watched the trailer again. And I will say this, the trailer did grow on me a little bit here. I think that some of the parts of the trailer that I thought were not working quite as well were just the dialogue and the style of, it's going for campy a little bit. And I get that Peter Parker, in his own way, is supposed to be a little bit of the goofy, good-natured, kind of superhero, the throwback, right? Where we have all of our Batmans and, darker heroes like Blades and Punishers and Daredevils, going about the streets. And Spider-Man is supposed to be sort of a throwback to the good-natured, I'm just here, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, right? I'm just here to save the city, save the little guy, and stand up for what's good in my society, in my city, and in my neighborhood. That's great, and I think that part of the trailer, well, I think it is, it's a lot, right? Stylistically, it's a lot to have all these different elements coming together in a way that it's like, whoa, okay, this really is going for the camp and the silliness of Spider-Man. I think that it can work, right? I think the biggest compliment that a lot of people will give this is that it looks like a comic book come to life, very intentionally so, with the thought bubbles and with all the different panels coming together. I think really my biggest complaint about this trailer has less to do with the trailer itself and more just why this series exists in the first place. And I think we'll talk extensively about that in the What If Season 3 spoiler discussion, because I think that is really, Marvel Animation, that's great. You can produce things like X-Men 97, which I thought, to be fair, I actually didn't think X-Men 97 was as good as a lot of people said it was, although I enjoyed it for what it was, but, it wasn't speaking to me on the same level as I think people who had nostalgia for the series, it was speaking to them. But I think that is an example of something you can do really well in the animation sphere, where it's like, pour resources into it, do it the best that it can be done. But I think that just doing things with the animation just for the sake of doing things, I'm like, what is really the point of this, For example, James Gunn's DCU, not to compare DC and Marvel all the time, but, Creature Commandos, well, I'm not saying that Creature Commandos is the best thing that's ever been made, because I certainly don't think that that's true. I think that at the end of the day, if it's going to be a part of the DCU, it's going to be setting up things, it's, or not even just setting up things, but just going to be, having its own story for the sake of it and doing well for itself. I think that that's fine. That's great. These animated shows in the MCU just feel like they're Disney Plus filler. Honestly, Disney Plus fodder. And I'm a little disappointed in that, honestly, because I feel like you could be doing so much more with that, with those resources. I'm not advocating that people lose their jobs or whatever. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying that, if you're going to be doing the animation style, then sure, go for it. Really do something. And I to be fair, I haven't seen the series. We're going to be seeing the series in just about a month or so. So we'll be seeing, how that plays out when it actually comes out. But I think my biggest problem here is that, it looks, it's fine, I think. It looks very aggressively okay. I just don't know what the point of doing things that are aggressively okay is, because it seems like that's all that Marvel Animation has done, save for X-Men 97, which seems, to have spoken to a lot of people. Again, not myself, but that's totally fine. I'm not the target demographic, I think, for that. The people who grew up with the series and have the nostalgia for it, I think we're the main people who would have gotten the most out of it. That's totally great. But again, at the end of the day, I'm just like, what else is there for me to say other than I think some parts of it look really silly. I think that the voice acting is a little bit off for some reason in this show. And based on the concept, they're gonna have Kingpin and Chameleon and Scorpion and Daredevil and I think Iron Man maybe showing up here at some point. They're just gonna throw the kitchen sink at it. This is going to be basically as if you're going to be, as if you were reading a comic book, issue that just came out of Spider-Man. I think that that's fine. That's great. But at the end of the day, I don't know what this contributes overall to the MCU. And we'll talk about more of the resource allocation argument, I suppose, in the what if spoiler discussion later on in the episode. But guys, what did you think about the first trailer for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the first Disney Plus show to be coming out from the MCU in 2025? Let me know in the comments down below.